Okay, I hope you're excited. It's time to dig in. Now, as for prerequisites, it's very simple. You'll need a good editor of choice. You'll need access to a terminal, maybe iTerm, whatever you want. And then finally, if we're going to build Laravel apps, of course, you need access to things like PHP and MySQL, as well as a tool called Composer that we'll talk about a bit more. Now, if you don't have any of those available, that's the next step. If you visit the Laravel documentation, you'll find this section here, Setup Instructions for Every OS. I'm on a Mac, and you'll see it recommends pulling in a tool called Docker, and then using a CLI called Laravel Sail to quickly whip up what we call a container that already includes everything you need to start writing Laravel apps. Think of it sort of like a black box that already has PHP, it already has Redis, it already has MySQL. You're all set to go. It's very cool, and it's worth your time. But otherwise, if you prefer to work locally or you already have these tools installed, that's a great option as well. There is no wrong choice here. Choose what you prefer. For example, I like to keep things local. I'm on a Mac, which means I can use a tool called Homebrew. I can easily pull in things like PHP, or MySQL, or Redis, or even CLI tools like Tree. Again, choose the option you prefer. So if you are on a Mac, you might consider this. Simply copy it, open your terminal, paste it in, and then after a moment or so, you'll now have access to a Brew CLI. Let's have a look for PHP. All right, now you'll see I already have PHP 8 installed. But if I didn't, I could run brew install PHP. And bam, I have it. Open a new tab, check your version, and there you go. Let's do the same thing for MySQL. Brew search MySQL. Here we go. So once again, here's MySQL 8, or if you need to stay on 5.7, that's an option too. Brew, install MySQL, and you're up and running. Just make sure you follow the steps at the end. It might tell you to run brew services start MySQL to ensure that it's always running in the background. Again, once that's complete, open a new tab, and you can sign in like this. MySQL, and the default username is root. There we go, 8.0. So notice we could either install these things manually, or you could use Laravel Sail that already has that stuff ready to go for you. It's up to you. Okay, so the final step, if we keep it local, is I need to pull in Composer. Visit getcomposer.org. Now, as it says on the tin, Composer is a dependency or package manager for PHP. It offers you a way to declare any dependencies your project has and then immediately pull them in with a single command. Maybe you need a testing tool like PHP Unit, or a package to manipulate images, or something related to authentication. Any of those can be installed through Composer. So let's go ahead and download it. And all I have to do is copy this, switch back to my terminal, and paste it in. Okay, so now you'll see it gives me a composer.far file. And if I run it here, here's our Composer CLI. The only issue is I'd like to access this from anywhere on my machine, globally. All right, let's figure out how. We'll go back to Getting Started, and here we go, Installation Globally. All right, it looks like we move composer.far to your bin directory. All right, let's do that now. Run it, and there we go. As long as bin is in your path, which it should be, we're all set to go. Let's try it out. I'll open a new tab, and if I run Composer, there we go. Okay, so immediately you're going to see a bunch of commands here. Let's expand this a bit. And it can be a little overwhelming, but trust me, I've been using this tool for many years, and I don't reach for half of these. The big one to be aware of at the beginning is Composer install, as well as Composer search. Think of Composer almost like the PHP package equivalent to Homebrew. You're going to love it. Anyways, let's figure out how to install Laravel now through Composer. Again, refer to the documentation. It looks like we can say Composer, create a new project. Laravel is the GitHub repository. An example app is how you want to name it. All right, so let's try it out. Run it, and we're going to make a blog. So let's run this. Okay, so now have a look here. Notice all these different things it's pulling in. Each of these is a Composer package. So as it turns out, Laravel is composed of packages. And you'll even see Laravel depends on a great many number of Symfony packages as well, which is great. All right, scrolling down, and it looks like we're all set to go. I will cd into our blog, list the files. We have a Laravel project. Let's have a look in my editor. And here we go. This is what a fresh Laravel app looks like. Now real quick, come down to this composer.json file. Think of this as the configuration file for your Composer dependencies. For a Laravel app, we depend on all of these packages, and then specifically for development only, we also depend on these. Each of these is a package that we can install through Composer. Okay, I have one final step for you. Let's boot up a server. PHP Artisan serve. We can access localhost port 8000, and congratulations, you now have Laravel up and running.